With Pokemon Legends EA being revealed, we found out that night battles are pretty important. And thanks to this comment, I figured let's make a list of 12 Night City themed Pokemon, each under $20. Let's jump into it. The first card is one of my favorite Pokemon, Lucario V from Champion's Path. In this art, we see Lucario getting ready to give somebody the beatdown, and the reason why I chose this was because it was my first Night City themed Pokemon for my binder, and that's because the city in the background. This card currently sits at about $1.50 in English, and actually there's no market data for the Japanese version. Next up is Luxray V from Astral Radiance. Another one of my favorite V cards is this Luxray V, and I think it's in the same city as the Lucario, or at least the colors are all the same, so it makes it seem like it might be. This card sits between $1 or $2 in both English and Japanese. And now, the building itself has arrived, Duraludon VMAX from Silver Tempest. Really great artwork of Duraludon here. Honestly, it wasn't one of my favorite Pokemon, but seeing it here in this VMAX form roaring with Raihan doing the same is pretty cool. I love the perspective of this artwork as well. Seeing the cityscape behind them is really, really sick. This card is actually sitting around the $8 mark in both English and Japanese, so pretty cool card. And I forgot to mention it before, but so far, all three cards have been done by Akira Gawa. At this point, I honestly should just collect this artist, but I feel like so many of their cards work great in themed pages. Let's add a little cute to the mix with Mew V from Crown Zenith. In this artwork, we actually come down from the city skyline and into like the midsection of the city, and there's just a cute little Mew floating around. For only $1 or $2, this is a pretty great pickup for our city themed page. Next is this amazing Miraidon EX from Scarlet and Violet's base set. In this art, we get the POV of the inside of somebody's home in the city or apartment, and I think it's pretty cool to see two Pokemon interacting. Maybe the Miraidon was passing by and the Dachsbun noticed it and started barking, or maybe they're just both in awe of each other. I think this is a really great scene, but unfortunately it is close to the top end of our budget at $19 in English and double our budget in Japanese at $40. What's a city without an evil organization? Here's Giovanni's Charisma from 151. Once again, in this art, we are inside, this time with Team Rocket's leader Giovanni and his cuddly Persian. There's a lot of cool things to look at in this art, like the wall of enclosed Pokeballs. Also, there's a Master Ball and even a chess set on the end table. Really cool. And again, if you look through the window, you can see a city skyline. So it does fit within our city themed page. This card actually sits around $12 in English and $16 in Japanese. Next is Persian's own art coming from Shrouded Fable. In this art, there is no Giovanni, just the Persian awaiting its owner's return. This card is a little bit ridiculous for the price that it is in English, sitting around $35. Fortunately, we can get this card for about $8 in Japanese. We're not done with Team Rocket just yet. Here's the Murkrow from Destined Rivals. I really like the colors on this card, and I love being able to add another perspective other than just more city skylines. So it's cool to have Ariana and the Murkrow here on a balcony overlooking the city. Really cool card, and if you plan on picking this up, it sits at around $10 in English and about $4 in Japanese. Be careful, or this Galvantula from White Flare might shock you. Another card that brings a new perspective, and that being from the alleyways. And funny enough, the artist who did this card is the same artist who did the Murkrow, Akira Komayama. If you're thinking about picking this card up in English, I might wait. It's sitting at around $19 right now, and that's because it's a newer card. If you really want to pick it up though, in Japanese, it's only $6. Next is another card from White Flare, Scrafty. Here we have some hooligans hanging around a snack machine, and I would steer clear from these Scrafty. If you read the text in this card, it actually says that they would beat anybody up that enters their territory. I love when cards add flavor text like this. It's really cool just to have a bit more information to see how they would actually interact with the real world. This card is around $12 in English and $5 in Japanese. Miraidon makes a return with the Scarlet and Violet promo. We mentioned this card back in the sleeping themed video, but I wanted to bring it back because I actually use this card for my Night City theme page. Something I failed to mention in that video is how much I really enjoy that the artist added a bunch of pink highlights, and that was to reflect the pink moon, so it's cool to see how the lighting of that moon affected the city. This card sits at around $5 in English, and there's actually no market data for the Japanese version. Our last budget pick is this Mewtwo Scarlet and Violet promo. In this art, we have Mewtwo floating above the city, and it's really cool to see this top-down perspective, and looking at the Mewtwo's always angry expression really makes me wonder what he might be thinking. In English, this card is a couple bucks out of our budget, but in Japanese, you can pick it up for 10. And that's it for our budget picks, but if you have a bunch of money that's burning a hole in your pocket, here are some honorable mentions. One of my all-time favorite cards, the Umbreon and Darkrai GX promo. While there are many amazing Umbreon cards that I could talk about here, and I mean a lot, this is going to be the one that I choose to talk about because it has two of my favorite Pokemon, Umbreon and Darkrai. Really cool Night City in the background, and also a little Pikachu cameo in the screens. Really nice. Unfortunately, this card is really expensive. It sits around 125 in English and double that in Japanese. Luckily, I was able to get mine for around $75, and that's because I bought it at a worse condition than near mint. Again, really good way to get awesome cards that you might not normally be able to get is by purchasing them at worse conditions. Next is another evolution. This time, the Jolteon V promo from Sword and Shield. Of the Jolteon cards I've seen, this is probably my favorite one, although I might be biased because I really love the Night City theme. And I also love the detail of like the yellow streak being left behind, showing the path that it ran and jumped to get to where it is now. This Jolteon sits at around the $43 mark in English and around $60 in Japanese. Our last honorable mention is Batman. I'm kidding. It's Noivern V from Evolving Skies. I remember when I first heard about Pokemon's Batman card, and I was pretty confused until I realized all the elements that made it the Batman card. It being Noivern, which is based off of a bat, and then also the Night City and it descending from the top of a city building probably. It all made sense. It was like, okay, it makes sense why people want to call this the Batman card. A truly amazing card, and for those of you who might not know, it was done by Mitsuhiro Arita, who actually did the base set Charizard. This card currently sits at around $43 in English and $55 in Japanese. And that's it. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and if you like night-themed Pokemon, I'd subscribe. I might have something in store for you next week. As always, if you have a theme you'd like to see, leave a comment down below and let me know what it is. And if you want to continue building out a really cool binder, go ahead and check out our sunset theme video, and I'll see you there.